day, and the madness is in full swing. Alexis Sanchez, well, he's out of it all. He's over in Santiago, Chile, preparing to play against Paraguay. Meantime, back here in London, Arsenal are hoping Manchester City do not come calling again for Sanchez before 11 o'clock tonight. Tottenham, Palace, Brighton, all doing business as I speak. And Palace and Bournemouth are trying to spend big this morning. It is the usual madness. It is the day we live for. It's the #1 trending subject right across social media. And there are 13 hours left of this window to go. It's Jim White on talkSPORT on transfer deadline day.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the kids jingle belling and everyone
Talk about feel-good factor. How good is this?
Brilliant. Absolutely superb, Jim. And you're quite a busy man today, aren't you?
Oh, Ray Parler and Bob Mills are with me.
Can I just say, sorry, very quickly to the listeners, you may have thought that countdown clock was just something that they added on screen at Sky. In fact, it is above Jim White all the time now. It's hovering over him.
That's right. Yeah, I count down my life today, Bob. No, it is a day, as I say, it's a day like no other. I mean, I came around the corner this morning here in South Bank in London. I walked into the bakery to get myself a little bit of breakfast, and people are talking about it, Ray, right away, and that was about 7:15 this morning. The place is buzzing, and this is what it's all about. The great thing about it too is, Ray, having played at the highest level as you've done, you guys all used to talk about it at Arsenal in a squad situation, but the fans love it and they get involved from the word go.
Well, believe it or not, Jim, the players will be really watching what's going on as well, because some players will be leaving clubs, some will be coming into new clubs, and some big players for clubs leaving. So the players, you might say the fans love it, but the players are really looking at it and saying, well, can we be strengthened or will we be weakened? Like lots of clubs. So, is it a great day? I don't think it's a great day for managers and people like that if they're losing players. And, you know, a lot of the time, I know there's been lots of people saying it should be done before the season starts, but it hasn't yet. And I'm sure there'll be some real deals today. I mean, everybody now is playing poker. Now they've got to start giving them a little bit here and now. They've got to say, okay, we cut that. You can have him for this, and that's what happens the last day.
That's right. I mean, Chelsea have been cut out of a couple of deals already this week because they wanted Oxlade-Chamberlain. They didn't get him. The boy wanted to go to Liverpool, as we said on talkSPORT all week, and he has gone there. And now it looks like Ray, they're going to miss out on Fernando Llorente because Tottenham have come in, and I think the two have agreed a fee, so Llorente's going to head to Tottenham. As things stand, it's only 10:07 at the moment, and that might change.
Well, I think there's a lot of quite depressed Arsenal fans out there at the moment because what's going on with the last result doesn't help, and then you're losing players. I mean, the big news and the big person that everybody's really waiting for is what happens to Sanchez. Whether from Arsenal's point of view, whether he stays, whether he goes. Oxlade-Chamberlain, I think he must have spoke to managers, or the representative spoke to managers. He wants to play central midfield. Now, Liverpool play 4 at the back. So he's going to get more of an opportunity. He's going to get more of an opportunity at Liverpool to play that 3 in midfield, because I don't think he can play as a 2. We've seen that when he played for England. So that's why he's made that decision. And Liverpool, if they can keep Coutinho, they're starting to have a really strong squad going forward, and they can challenge him.
So many ifs and buts. And Bob Mills, as I speak, you're looking at me. You're looking at me right now, but you're on Facebook Live. Look behind you. This
there we go, Bob.
Such is the popularity of the day.
Do you know what I thought it was? I thought it was a kid who didn't know how to work his phone, and he was just sort of looking at the thing. That's fantastic. Right, answer me. I'm sorry. There must be some players today watching, I'm sure it never happened to you, but watching Jim on the screen later and watching Deadline Day who think, oh, you're joking, they bought him. That's me out. That's me on the bench.
Yeah, but that happens, Bob. Definitely, that's what happens. I mean, there'd be people buying in. It's like, I suppose Drinkwater was the one, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's another one. When he goes to Chelsea, he's put a transfer request in. But if it doesn't happen and it doesn't go through, how does he feel next day in training? At Leicester.
Yeah.
You know, how does the players feel around him, knowing he wants to leave, don't want to be part of Leicester? but he's going to have to be there till Christmas time. So
See, I
it's an
think
awkward one as well in that situation. We just sat Patrick Vieira every single during the transfer window. Patrick, haven't you gone yet? every day we read you leaving in the papers. You go Barcelona, you're going here, you're going there, you're going to Italy, and he just used to laugh. To be fair, he used to just crack up and say, "No, it's all right." No.
Patrick Vieira, what a man he was, what a man he is.
Yeah.
We are the #1 trend right now, transfer deadline day throughout the country, Bob. And it is so popular, Bob, that is why, on a serious note, right now, you can watch us, our coverage from talkSPORT this morning, because we are live on facebook.com/talkSPORT. So watch us live on Facebook Live throughout the morning. There's Bob Mills there, there's Ray Parlour there. I am Jim White, not with the yellow tie at this moment, but maybe later on in the day. And carry on watching us and listening to us right here on talkSPORT, right through until 1 o'clock. The difference now, Bob, is I think players play such a significant part in it as well, because they can say, do you know what, I don't want to go there, I want to go here. Just before I came on air, I heard that Demarai Gray at Leicester. Now, Leicester's going to be interesting, Ray, because I think they might lose one or two. Mara's possibly going, Drinkwater going. Demarai Gray, Bob, is saying, I want to go to Bournemouth. I'm hearing from his camp that he wants now to force through the move. He's agitating for the move. Now that puts his club, Leicester City, under a lot of pressure, because you don't want to keep a player who doesn't particularly want to be there.
What seems very, very different over the last few years, certainly this year, is it used to. My memory was that you heard nothing at all, and then the club would announce a bigger club have come in for this player. And he's leaving, and you think, well, somewhere they're having a meeting and terms are being discussed, and then suddenly the announcement was made. But now, weeks and weeks in advance, players are saying, this is what I want to happen.
Yeah.
I want to go there. This is the position I want to play in, and I want to play in this position at that stadium for that team. And it just seems like, well, player power, but, surely that's what we brought on. When you pay players that sort of money, you can't then expect them to act like normal staff, can you, and do as they're told.
Well, it's like Kieran Gibbs. Now, he got a bid accepted from Watford. He can't agree personal terms. So he says, I'm not going.
Was it personal terms that...
I think it was personal terms.
Blew that one apart.
Yeah, and suddenly, West Brom, who bid, I think they bid 10 million, which was rejected by Arsenal.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden now, it's running out of time. We've got to move the players on. So now they've got him for 7. So they're 3 million better off for West Bromwich Albion. So they can't believe their luck. They're like, well, brilliant. Okay,
as you said, though, Ray, it's a game of poker.
It is a game of poker.
The new boys, Huddersfield have brought in something like 11 players. Brighton, as we speak, Bob, they are the new boys to the Premier League. They're working hard and bringing in a whole bunch of players this very morning. Hope to speak to Brighton CEO, Paul Barber, later on this morning. But... the fans of any club listening right now, are you happy with the business that your club has done so far? What else do you want your club to do? Who do you want to see across the door at your club before 11 o'clock tonight? That is the crucial question. Who do you want in? Is your club working hard enough? Is your club working effectively enough? On this, the last day of the transfer window. 08717 223344. You can tweet me at Jim White or text me at 81089. And this day, albeit it wouldn't be complete without Bob Mills and Ray Parlour, of course. Nor would it be complete without this man, Ian Abrahams, and he is out at our transfer desk, which is on fire right now. Ian.
It certainly is, Jim. Let's start with Alexis Sanchez. Man City do want to sign him. Apparently they've got somebody out in South America ready to get that pen in his hand and get his signature. Arsenal want to get Draxler in for PSG, but apparently no new bid yet today from City for Sanchez. Just over 13 or just over 12 hours rather left in the in this transfer window. Right, Oxlade-Chamberlain to Liverpool, we know. Mustafi could leave Arsenal today, so could Lucas Perez. What about Fernando Llorente? Well, apparently Spurs' bid for him has been accepted by Swansea. It's up to the player now. You just heard from Ray there about Kieran Gibbs with Watford the other day, so it's not a foregone conclusion that Llorente is going to Spurs, but it doesn't look like now he's going to be going to Chelsea. Spurs, by the way, also linked with Demarai Gray, who you just said Jim wants to go to Bournemouth, who had an offer yesterday turned down for the player. Spurs set to sign Sergio Aurier today from Paris Saint-Germain. What's happening with Ross Barkley? Spurs and Chelsea, the only really likely options for him unless he stays at Everton. Palace linked with Joel Campbell of Arsenal. Arsenal, and also Mangala at Manchester City. And West Ham had a bid for Kevin Morales. That was turned down, a loan bid for Kevin Morales turned down earlier today by Everton. And Johnny Evans is apparently with the Northern Ireland squad. No new news on him yet regarding whether he's going to Man City or indeed Arsenal. The two clubs have been linked with him.
Okay, Ian, thanks very much indeed.
I was just thinking about Mahrez. I've watched him live this season and going, oh, he was superb. I'm really surprised that someone hasn't come in and tried to take him. I mean, whether he's going to go today, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
And that might affect Demarai Gray.
Yes.
If he goes, that's what Leicester are waiting for. If Mahrez leaves, then that he's got a perfect replacement in Demarai Gray. So that's probably what's holding that deal up, maybe.
We've had a text from Russell. Russell, the Spurs fan, thanks for your text. We'd love to see Mahrez at Spurs.
Yeah, well, he's certainly a very talented player. We know how many goals he scored the season they won it, so he can score goals. And on his game, he's very good.
The other thing that happens, though, in this mad, because it is a mad, frenetic deadline day, is you get this momentum that builds up, and it's a bit like the sale at Harrods. Now, where people go in, and they suddenly see a load of people around something, they say, I don't know what it is, but I want it. If everyone wants it, it must be good, so I'll have it. And you see people buying boxes.
Yeah.
And you think, you probably don't even know what's in that box.
Yeah.
But look at it, see, I've got it for 80 quid.
You're spot on, Bob. That's exactly what's happening. I mean, more than one club is going for the same player. And you don't want to get outdone. That is what's happening out there. That's what's happening with Fernando Llorente at the moment. That's why Tottenham are trying to nick him off Chelsea. That happened with Moussa Sissoko, would you believe, in the last window. You have the opportunity this morning, though, guys out there, to get in touch directly with us here at talkSPORT, because we want to hear from you what you think of the business that your club is or isn't doing on this famous day. 08717 223344. Tweet me at Jim White or text me at 81089. Leeds United, a proud club. Paul Sabicki is a highly fancied centre forward, a young lad who plays for the Swedish under-23 international side, and he is through the door at Leeds United. He is signing this morning. He's a player of Malmo over in Sweden. He's been tracked by Manchester United and Ajax, but Andrea Radrazani has forked out big for this lad, and this fella Sabicki is through the door at Leeds United. Just before we head to the break, I want to throw this at Ray Parlour. Arsenal fans, what do you think of this? Just before we came on air, I was in touch with Arsenal, and Arsenal tell me, Ray, they are happy with things as things stand right now. As things stand right now, they're comfortable. No ins and no outs. They obviously hope Sanchez stays. But we hear that City might come charging in with another one. How can Arsenal possibly be happy right now?
Well, I'm looking at midfield where they need to strengthen. I really do believe they're missing Cazorla. Someone like Cazorla in that midfield who can string, them like the attacks together and get people in line, different lines, and I think they've got very similar midfield for me. So Draxler for me would be superb.
Draxler's been mentioned.
Someone like him, he would be a real good signing. Look, Sanchez scored 24, 25 goals last year, so if they can keep him, that is a big coup for Arsenal. Even if he does leave on a next year, free transfer next year, he'll be a very important player still for me.
Would 70 million take Sanchez tonight from Arsenal to City?
That's a massive carrot for Arsenal to say, well, do we take the 70 million? But you've got to replace him. Who's going to score the 25 goals for you next season?
In the time they've got as well.
Well, that's what I can't understand. If you're going to sell Sanchez, you sell him at, early in the transfer window, and then you can work with the money. Whether there's holding out for a certain fee, he hasn't played at all. So why don't you sell him early if you're going to sell him? Don't leave it till last minute and then you haven't got time to buy.
Do you worry about Arsenal right now, Ray? Are you worried about them, where they stand right now?
I'm very worried about them because that performance, it weren't the defeat, it was the manner of the defeat.
Yeah.
How they lost 4-0.
Yeah.
And how they just shut up, everything, they're just down tools, and Liverpool were very good, don't get me wrong, but it was really poor, really poor.
The vibe I got just before we came on air, and I'm rushing to a break, Joe, don't worry. The vibe I got from Arsenal just going on air was, we've got some money. We've got a bit of money. So we could spend, there's another message coming through, I'll get back to that. We could spend, but we're not too sure. They don't know what they're doing at the moment, Bob. Was it the impression I got? Do we spend, do we not? Do we fork out, do we bring in him? Are we worried about Sanchez? They're a bit in disarray on this
Jim,
final day.
as my brother-in-law Matt the Gooner says, all this money, where were you keeping it? In the club shop? Has it gone with the shirts?
That's right. There was a break-in at the club shop.
It was
wasn't
indeed, yeah.
Give us a call this morning, 08717 223344. Tweet me at Jim White. Text me at 81089. Transfer deadline day, a day like no other.